This one, I hope to hear you singing along. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Oh, living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God. Oh, I thank you, God, for one good day.
The one living Spirit is right here. The very source of all life, that divine presence wrapping itself around all of creation and filling all of creation. The life of all life. The creator of all creation, nothing, no one ever left out. It is the one living, breathing in this very moment. God, Spirit, the divine, is the very ground of all being. It is right where I am, expressing in and as all that I am, no separation. I live and move and have my very being in and as this one. And so I know this as the truth, absolute truth of each and every one here, each and every one hearing this word, for it is the truth of all life. All of us, an integral expression of the one, held, supported, sustained by the one. And so I know it is this one living spirit unfolding through this new day, unfolding through this service, singing, speaking, hearing, hugging. It is life in expression. And so I know that we are all held, supported, sustained. And I know that presence right here in peace, in love, fully abiding. And I recognize it as that greater surrendering, embracing right now. And in this sweet recognition, I let go in great gratitude. I let go in deep peace. And I let this be. And so it is. Amen. Good morning. I'm Ruth Barnhart, a minister here at our center. Please join me in reading this morning's affirmation. I align with the self within and am guided to see clearly, choose wisely, and speak truthfully. And so it is.
This one's easy to sing along with. Here's how the first part goes. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Try that with me. Here we go. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. One more time. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Here's the next part. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. Oh, I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument of peace. Take it, friend. I am an instrument of peace. Here we go again. I am an instrument of peace. Last time. I am an instrument of peace.
Good morning. Well, you should be awake now. Hello, beautiful people of the center. Who was here last week? Wasn't that a lovely message by Reverend Russ? So moving. And about a month ago, we heard from our AIDS Lifecycle team that were embarking on the 545-mile ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and we were saying bon voyage to them as they went. Well, they did it, and they're back. And so I've invited them to come and tell us a little bit about it. So AIDS Lifecycle team, come on up over here. 3 of our 4-person team is here today. And first is Lynn Harding.
Hello. The ride
Right
for,
close.
The ride for me was a very layered event. Initially, I was just overwhelmed by all the people alongside the road saying thank you, and holding up the signs with pictures of their lost loved ones. Really very powerful. And then after the ride at night in the camp, I couldn't help but be aware that a lot of those people were feeling the rare opportunity to just be themselves. We were just surrounded by kindness and acceptance, and many of them are not always used to that, so it was really nice to feel a part of that. That was great. And then I eventually, looking around at the other bike riders, came to see that actually every one of us represented like hundreds of people. You know, I mean, our team, you guys were all there. It was great. It was just like, wow, this is thousands of people out here. And the money part of it, millions of dollars to keep that clinic going, and the hundreds or thousands of people being served by it, very powerful. The other thing that for me was different this year is for the first year, when I was at those roadside rests taking pictures of the performers, for the first time, I wasn't terrified when they said, oh, come on up on stage and have a picture taken with us. You know, it was like, somehow I felt like I actually belong here, which was great, you know? And, yeah. And I came to realize that all those years I had been raised in a pretty homophobic and racist family, and even though I really didn't espouse those notions, they had settled in me somehow. And so finally I was like, wow, you know, I actually belong here. And just recognizing that history went a long ways in disempowering those ideas, those biases. So that was huge for me. So basically, I know there are other layers that will be discovered, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to have ridden the ride. It was wonderful. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Lynn Harding, for writing. Thank you. And next is Laura Baker.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Edward, for letting us come up here and say our thanks. That was beautiful, Lynn. The AIDS Lifecycle 2023 ride was a true blessing. AIDS Lifecycle is a spectacular journey where you can lose yourself to the glory of the beautiful, engaged, and hopeful ALC community. There's so much love and power in this group. It's an institution of sorts. This was my 3rd ride, and it was the best so far. It's obviously a physical challenge, but it's also a mental one. Throughout, we had so much support from the AIDS Lifecycle organization, from our North Bay Positive Peddlers training group, our training ride leaders, including Jerry Huffaker, who's here today, and Matthew Duran, and from you, our CSLSR community. Thank you, CSLSR, for all of your support. I'll say from all of us, we're truly blessed by your contributions in, in the variety of ways for our major endeavor. I was not a cyclist before joining ALC 20 in 2018. If you have any desire to join, we welcome you to join, because if I can do it, you can do it. Thank you to CSLSR, this beautiful community, for your many gifts. Thank you.
Thank you for writing, Laura Baker. Wayne Stanfield.
My participation in this year's AIDS Lifecycle ride was every bit as special as my first ALC ride last year. The ever-positive support from this center, with generous donations from bake sale purchases and the numerous genuine, enthusiastic voice statements of endorsement, was significant and deeply appreciated. Preparation for the ride was masterfully organized by our team leader, Jerry Huffaker, and the training line leaders. Much support was also provided by the North Bay Positive Peddlers. The ride itself, though not easy, was outstandingly supported. Safety was strongly emphasized as the #1 priority. Rider support was ever present with rest stops, water stops, snacks, and meals, all strategically provided, as well as bike maintenance, medical and first aid care, and transportation readily available if necessary. The atmosphere of the ALC is of acceptance, non-judgment, fun, and support for the causes. There is such unity of purpose embraced by participants that the ride is justifiably known as the Love Bubble. I am deeply honored to be associated with this center's team. Such good people. The 2 aid life cycle rides I've participated in have positively enhanced my life. I'm looking forward to riding for the 2024 CSL Santa Rosa Aid Life Cycle team.
Thank you for writing, Wayne. And thank you to our CSLSR AIDS Life Cycle team. Thank you. Now, I called this team up on the stage because when I saw the topic for the day, I knew I had to. The topic is, You've Got Me Hypnotized. So I'll explain that in a moment, but first I want to unpack how the word hypnotize, what it means in common use, not the clinical application of the therapy of hypnotism, but when we say I'm hypnotized, to hypnotize someone means to capture their attention. It also means to dazzle and to overcome, sometimes through suggestion. It can also mean to influence and to control, sometimes quite directly. It can mean to keep somebody's attention so strongly that they feel unable to move or to look away. So it got me to thinking, what in this world causes me to not be able to move or captures my attention so strongly that I can't act or think? What hypnotizes me? So I got to thinking about it. And I've given some thought to it, and I think there are 3 areas, and maybe you've got some more. 3 areas in which I can feel hypnotized. Number 1, by the circumstances of this world, as reported in the news and social media. Because outrage sells. And the rumor of threat and danger is compelling. For example, just recently, the Eastern European country, Georgia, they canceled a huge LGBTQ event after a far-right religious group consisting of some 2,000 people stormed the park, destroyed the equipment and the stage, burned and looted, making it necessary to bus the participants into safety. Now that can hypnotize me. Number 2, cultural voices can hypnotize me. Because I probably, like many people of you, have accepted so many things from well-meaning adults who were doing the very best they knew how, but it turns out they were teaching me some stuff that I accepted that wasn't quite accurate. For example, in my culture of origin, without overtly saying it, and sometimes they did overtly say it actually, I was taught that being white, Christian, heterosexual, able-bodied, thin, wealthy, and fluent in English is always best. That can hypnotize a person. Third, I'm sometimes hypnotized by my own inner conversations, the own voices in my own head, particularly because of my stunning ability to focus on the negative and to project meaning when none is necessary to be added. For example, if I make a mistake, how I immediately kick into a conversation about how it is my fault. And then I start to look for evidence of how it is likely to happen again, causing all kinds of anxiety. And about 3 weeks ago, I talked about that and shared some practical tools for what I do, and maybe you can use to address your own anxiety when that inner voice comes up. Now, I'm not always hypnotized, and I'm sure you're not always hypnotized, but sometimes I am. And I know I need to snap out of it and wake up. I've seen hypnotists in movies, and I'm sure the way they are portrayed in movies are not accurate for the clinical application of hypnosis, but typically in the movies I've seen, the hypnotist will say something like, on the count of 3, I'm going to snap my fingers and you're going to wake up and remember who you are. And that is what spiritual living is all about to me, to wake up from whatever hypnotic state I might have found myself landing in, whether it's from the news or culture or from my own self. And it's not always as quickly as 1, 2, 3 come out of it. Typically, it's more like a journey of education and self-reflection and an ongoing unfolding and waking up. And I do have some exercises that I use that I'll be covering today throughout the message. You may have your own ones, but I'm going to be talking about some old familiar ones and some new ones, like consciously seeking out the good news, the old familiar habit of expressing gratitude, a new habit maybe for some people of being stubbornly optimistic, and the habit of asking yourself about the meaning of life, according to you. Now, we'll cover these today, but first, I want to acknowledge that there is chaos and pain in the world. And the news that covers the chaos and pain of the world is compelling, as it should be. And when I'm completely consumed by it, hypnotized, that is when I tend to not notice that simultaneously in the world, ordinary people are doing very good things. Like the 1,692 cyclists that went with our team from San Francisco, plus road volunteers, plus support on the route. They made this long journey to generate awareness and millions of dollars for treatment and education for people living with HIV and AIDS. Did you know that your Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa has had a cycle team for 10 years now? And as you heard, you can be part of it. In fact, training starts soon. And if you want to know how you can make a difference in the world, ask me. I'll connect you with the right people. You know, Jerry's sitting right there with a notepad ready to show you how you can cycle. All ages, size, shapes, anything. Everybody, welcome. Now, noticing that good things are happening in the midst of the chaos and pain in the world, in the midst of everything else, is part of what it takes to snap out of the dream. So I know for me, I have to intentionally look for the good. So let me tell you about an online publication named Bittersweet Monthly. Its line on the top of its page is, counter-narrative to the world's bad news. This is what they say about themselves. Together we reject cynicism, defy apathy, and celebrate good that the world needs more of. And so it features stories from all over the world that talk about that place where human compassion intersects with people's ambitions to inspire them and raise them up to their creativity, or we would say to their spiritual magnificence. Like this one organization they're reporting on right now, it's called Authoring Change, in which some 800 teen authors have been encouraged to share their personal stories without limits, without being thwarted or edited, to help them shape the way they see themselves as change agents and advocates for social change in the world. Tremendously inspiring. Or how about this organization? It's called yesmagazine.org, and it reports on positive social trends, such as the recent Supreme Court decision that upholds Native American sovereignty. Beautiful. Or how about this third one? GoodNewsNetwork.org, which reported recently on the birth of the rare okapi. You know that? Look it up. It's a relative of the giraffe, but it's got hind legs like a zebra. And the important news that is, it recently was born in a zoo, which brings tremendous hope and inspiration for one of the world's least understood and most endangered species on Earth. It's exciting. I think so. They also report on the story of this fire department intern who wasn't really that interested in becoming a firefighter, but went to go and intern and found out as he talked to his mentor in the fire department that the mentor had delivered him as a baby on an emergency call. Or the story of Zoe, the baby who was left in Florida at a safe haven rescue station, and when the firefighter came and saw her and felt the compassionate feeling of what it might take for parents to bring their infant child to a safe haven rescue station, he was so filled with compassion, he called his wife and they started the proceedings and finally got to adopt Zoe, the baby they found there. Beautiful. Or how about this site, today.com, in which a newlywed woman explains why she wanted to get married in a fast food hamburger joint. Here's the reason why. The reason why is because of the kindness of one of the employees at this fast food hamburger joint that helped her to get where she is today. Here's the story. In 1994, when Jamie was 12 years old, she was out on her own living on the streets after a very rough start. She says, "I had been in 94 foster homes, 6 shelters, a group home, a treatment center, and they kept on running out of places to keep me." And she told the magazine there were no beds, and by that time I realized that the system was probably going to kill me. So I took off on my own. Wes says that she can't really be sure of the exact location where she stumbled upon this hamburger joint. It was called a White Castle hamburger joint and somewhere in the South. And she says that she wasn't so hopeful because fast food places that she had stepped into generally wouldn't let her into the building. But things went very differently on this one particular day. She says, "I walked into the White Castle hamburger joint, and it's the first one I'd ever seen, and this woman behind the counter goes, 'Oh, sugar, you need to go into that bathroom and get yourself cleaned up.' And so I did," she says. And she says, "I cried in the bathroom because I was being treated like a human being for the first time." While she was in the bathroom, the White Castle employee bagged enough food in tight, neat little bags to feed her and her friend for 3 days. Then eventually, as the story goes on, her bout of homelessness finally ended, and over time she got to meet the love of her life, Drew, and got married. And when the time came to select the location to be married, she said, of course, it must be the hamburger joint, where she found sanctuary and food and human kindness. Or what about the online site positive.news? It reports on what went right this week. It's offering the good news it says that you ought to know about. It also reports on the importance of daring to imagine your own positive future in this world. And this is how it says it. Without shying away from the very real stress and dangers of life on earth. See, they're not putting their head in the sand. So, for example, it tells stories like there's one story of an armed robber finally turned into a world champion triathlete and is now teaching disadvantaged children in inner cities about mountain trail running because he hopes to help a new generation find a better route through life. Or how about this organization, goodness-exchange.com? This site points out that the common ratio of progress to negativity that is reported in the major news organizations would have us believe that the world is in a persistent state of decline. And it says on the website, while this news is vitally important and we need to know about what's going on this planet that we call home, we can't talk about this world in purely negative terms. If we want to make a better world out of this world, we need to see the whole picture. And so it's important also to hear about the many measures of true and real and enduring change and progress that are going on at the same time that reveal that there is a simultaneous reality that things are also evolving and growing and developing. I mean, you can do your own search. How is the world getting better? Search. You'll find most likely something like infant mortality is going down. You'll also find that absolute poverty has decreased dramatically and is continuing to do so to the point where the United Nations believes that eradicating extreme poverty is within our reach. There's more. Of course, this is not to say that we can or should ignore the things that may indeed be getting worse. Like maybe climate change, like maybe technological addiction and the impact on the new generation of children, like maybe human trafficking, like maybe physical and mental health issues that seem to be in a dangerous development. But it is to say this, that extreme focus on the negative is just the same as extreme focus on the positive, not helpful. Hypnotizing. The problem with an overly positive worldview is that it can make us tone deaf to the real suffering in the world. When lost in our own affirmative thinking, we can also lose our empathy for those people who are living one check away from homelessness. The problem with an overly negative worldview is that the human mind loves it and is already tuned in to negativity. So it takes extra effort to bring balance into play. For me, an overly negative worldview has the ability definitely to hypnotize. It dulls my thinking and it also thwarts my optimism. So it takes effort for me to wake up from it, especially when it's got my attention. And it's causing me to feel like giving up. Now, I mentioned exercises I use. So the first one we've covered already. Look for the good news. I have to balance my consumption. The second is that well-known practices of a daily gratitude list. carry a notebook around or have it next to your bed. Just write down 4 things that you are grateful for every day. You don't have to make a big deal about it. You don't even have to feel anything. Just write it down. You know, when I started to mindfully look for reasons to be grateful, it was a game changer in my life. Not only did it bring balance into my thinking and my worldview, but gratitude, by its nature, stirs up creative energy that I have in me naturally and that you have in you naturally. And it is the energy that, when stirred up, solves problems, inspires, connects. It's the energy that can make me part of the change that wants to happen, and you too. It's the energy that can turn me into one of the characters in one of those stories of those 6 news organizations I just read from. Because gratitude is indeed a form of optimism. As one of my friends said, gratitude is optimism put into action. And optimism is a powerful tool that can break the spell of hypnotism. The central architect of the Paris Agreement, Christiana Figueres, she's also the Costa Rican diplomat, she makes a case for what she calls stubborn optimism, saying, any reality we are given is not set in stone. It can be changed. Now, although this was written about climate change, I take that statement as an inspiration for life. Because I know some things cannot be changed, but I do want to ask myself, where have I become stuck? What has hypnotized me to the point that I'm not even trying to change? Or what are the societal messages that have dulled my reaching, my creativity, and what stories in my own head have become so familiar that I no longer even think about them? In 1912, Christian Larson wrote a pledge. Some of you will know it. It begins with the words, promise yourself, and it's known as the Optimist's Creed. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there is something worthwhile in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be as enthusiastic about success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble, to think well of yourself and to proclaim this fact to the world, not in loud words, but in great deeds, to live in faith that the whole world is on your side so long as you are true to the best that is in you. Now that's a tall order. That's a lot. And to be honest, it may seem out of reach to most people. But that is the way of vision. It must be out of reach. It must be beyond what I am experiencing and capable of right now. It must inspire me to go past what is normal and average. A vision ought to have parts of it that are lofty and seemingly unattainable. Just like the global vision of a healthy, loving world. That's what we say. A healthy, loving world that works for everybody, where forgiveness is the norm, where there is peace and harmony and justice for all. And some people may say that is unreasonable. Well, a vision cannot afford to be reasonable. It won't be effective if its message is meh. Don't get your hopes up. The world's going down. I mean, just imagine if we took the Optimist Creed and took the visionary elements out and reworked it to something more reasonable. I promise not to disturb myself. I promise to be friendly only to those who deserve it, and to be happy when things are going well, and to trust those who earn it, and to hold on to the past until amends are made, and to point out accurately where others can improve themselves. It doesn't land in the same way. No, I want to stretch by looking past what is normal, past what is reasonable, past what is already possible to something larger that takes my breath away. And one of the exercises I want to add to those I'm suggesting is this, and I think it will help break the hypnotic state. And it's like this: write your own optimistic promises to yourself, for yourself. Please try not to tell other people to be optimistic. Please do not layer your cheerfulness on other people who may be suffering. This is for you. So you keep it upbeat. You start with the words, I promise myself, and then go for it. And then keep it aspirational, and then keep the bitterness out of it. Keep the cynicism out of it. Now, a pro tip. You're likely to be more successful in this exercise if you give yourself an opportunity first to think about or write down all of the things you are worried about and that you feel pessimistic about. Because those voices are valid and they have a point of view too. In fact, if you identify they're very strong in you, take them to after-service prayer and get prayer with it. But don't just pretend they're not there. You're likely to be more effective in this exercise if you honor all of those parts of you that are worried and concerned. So let's review the exercises I'm suggesting. Number 1, seek out the good news. It's there. It's there. Number 2, diligently and daily look for things to be grateful for. Number 3, write your own optimistic promises to yourself after giving your pessimism a chance to be aired. And the fourth one, the final one, comes in the form of questions about life's meaning for you to ask yourself, or you can do this with a loved one. It's a beautiful exercise. You can ask each other and listen. These are the questions. What in life is important to you? Secondly, what would life, or you can say goodness or love, what would life want you to do more of? And the third is, what do you believe about the way life really works? And the fourth is, what inspires you to awe? Now, these questions have a wonderful way of opening your heart. Now, if you do it with a friend or a family member and you have the questions, ask them, or questions like them, here's the important part. Listen, period, without correction. So in other words, listen with curiosity, with a desire to learn. Listen with gratitude for the honor of being able to witness somebody unfolding before you. And then when and if you do it by yourself, give yourself a similar opportunity to express from that seat of consciousness within you. And you can prime yourself by saying to yourself before you begin answering. And this is the foundation for our spiritual practice today. So I invite you to breathe in, and we'll go through the preparation together as your eyes close. Before you even answer the questions, you say to yourself, there is within me a presence that is conscious. There is within me a presence that is connected to all that is. There is within me a light that shines upon my path. There is within me a love that understands. There is within me creativity, curiosity, and loving kindness. There is within me a center of clarity. There is within me a center of calm. From this place within me, where I intersect with all of life, I view the world within and around me with clarity. I feel the presence of the self within me as calmness. I see through the circumstances of the world to reality. and I hear the song of creation. And in this way, I awaken. I awaken wide awake, and I find myself to be peaceful, present, and powerful. And then letting the next breath you take be deeper than the one before. As you exhale, let us bring this moment of contemplation to a close by saying gently together, and so it is. Again, a breath in. And as we exhale, let this breath be what gives us the transition to our spiritual practice of giving in support of our center. We call it the law of circulation because we recognize on the other side of giving is the act of receiving, and that I'm sure the reason why you are here is because both you find an opportunity to give in service, time, and love, but you also receive companionship, community, and inspiration. So it's a circle of sharing. This particular part is where we financially support the center. I ask the ushers to stand while you prepare your gift. Of course, some people are giving electronically. They give through texting, or there are other ways to give online. You're welcome to explore them. And you can also pick up a coupon to drop in the basket as you come in, because maybe you give in another form and you're not putting something in the basket. Other people like the old school, drop the cash or the check in the envelope. However you give, I want you to know how much we appreciate it and accept it with love. As you prepare your gift, won't you say after me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. Is every step. I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. The peace is every step. Peace is every step.
Thank you again for all of the gifts that you share with us here at the center. And now is time to find out what is going on in our community. And the first thing that I want to share is that 2 weeks from now, on July 22nd, is my next Spirit Walk. It's the July Spirit Walk. And so you will have the opportunity to join me at Sonoma Valley Regional Park at 10 a.m. And we're going to go for a nice walk. It's about 45 minutes. Dogs are welcome. We love having the dogs out there. And you can sign up for that on our website or just show up. But if you sign up, that helps us out because we can match you up with a ride share. We can let you know if there's inclement weather, though now that we're in summer, hopefully that won't be the case. So I hope you will sign up there on the website by clicking on the photo of the sneakers. Also, it is time again, for us to choose our 12 nonprofit partners, and we do that every year. And we're getting ready for that for 2024. And these are organizations that here in Sonoma County and beyond help to do good work in the world. They're actually those organizations that bring the good news that Dr. Edward was talking about today. So if you know of a nonprofit organization that's doing good work and you'd like to have us, our center, support them financially, click on the photo of the children on our website. And this year, we're especially interested in receiving nominations of organizations that elevate youth and families, which is kind of the theme that we've been having here at the center too, youth and family. So we're going to collect submissions for that throughout July, and then the new partners will be selected by our giving intention team, and we will hear those new partners come October. So thank you for all of your submissions. I'm also grateful for everyone who's been coming to our Wednesday evening services. You can join me this Wednesday for our Wednesday evening service at 7 p.m., and we're going to go deeper on that topic that Dr. Edwards shared today. In fact, I think we might have ourselves a gratitude party. So doesn't that sound fun? And we'll have the usual tea and goodies and baked bread, and we'll have Christopher Fritchie sharing some guitar meditation music with us, and it'll be a lovely time. So I look forward to seeing you there. And my friend, Reverend Scioto Bell, has a class coming up called From Being to Doing Selfless Service, and it starts this Tuesday, July 11 at 6 p.m. So if you have not signed up yet, you still have a little bit of time, and please sign up soon. And you can sign up by clicking the photo of the green leaves on our website. And this class is designed to help you to learn how to shift from the mindset of doing, which many of us grow up learning that we've got to do, to the mindset of being, and then allowing that inner spirit that very easily is able to inform what we do in the world. So because this class is oriented toward that spiritual practice of selfless service, we want to honor all of our volunteers. If you've currently volunteered or you volunteered in the last 12 months, we want to offer this class to you at no charge. So you can sign up for that on our website, and Reverend Scioto looks forward to seeing you there. And Dr. Edwards also teaching a workshop on Sunday, July 23rd at 1 p.m. called Open Yourself to Receive. And spiritual circulation is one of those 5 spiritual practices that we talk about here at the center. And in the workshop, Dr. Edward is going to guide us in identifying what it is that we want to receive more of, and then how we can nurture receptive states of being, let go of our limiting beliefs, and cultivate gratitude. So you can sign up on our website today by clicking on the photo of the crashing waves. Also, another good news story, we've got all sorts of good news stories today, is that our center is partnering with First United Methodist Church and First Congregational United Church of Christ to provide backpacks and school supplies for students through in preschool through college. And you can bring a backpack to the center. I actually saw somebody was dropping one off today, so thank you for that backpack. And that backpack can be filled with age-appropriate supplies for whatever grade level that you're bringing the backpack for. And if you're wondering, if it's been a while since you were in school and you're like, I'm not sure which supplies to get, we actually have a list for you at our info desk, and we also have a list on our website. So fret not if you have not been in a school in quite a long time. We will help you out. So thank you for sharing those with us. And again, there's a picture of backpacks on our website that'll help you out if you're wanting more info there. Okay, now I've spoken enough, and I'd like to invite my friend, practitioner Julie Burns, up here to let us know what's going on with the upcoming CSL conference in Mexico.
Thank you, Russ. Buenos días. En nombre de los practicantes y la comunidad de la región 13, quiero invitarlos a acompañarnos en la Convención de las Américas en México, en Guadalajara. What I said was, I would like to extend a warm invitation to you from the family of practitioners and community of Region 13, that's our Spanish-speaking regions around the world, to the Convention of the Americas, the first week of August, on the shores of beautiful Lake Chapala in Mexico. Anyone here been there? Yay, I know you have. So I think this will be my 6th time this year, and it is a wonderful experience. It's just so heart-centered. It's in a beautiful location. It's an easy flight from San Francisco to Guadalajara and then a short taxi ride, a very comfortable hotel with peacocks strutting around. The staff at the hotel welcome us with hugs every time because they recognize us. And the community of speakers and practitioners are there to welcome you with just such warmth. It will be an amazing experience, and I hope some of you can join us. We have flyers on the information table, and you can also click on the picture of the palm trees with beautiful Lake Chapala in the background on our website under the events section if you'd like to register. There's still room at the hotel. The speakers will be both in English and Spanish, and there will be headsets so that if you don't speak Spanish, you will get to hear and understand everything that's going on. There'll be music, delicious food, companionship, anything you could want. So I hope you join us, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Julie. That sounds great. So before we close out our service, I want to introduce our July nonprofit partner to you, and that is Sonoma Family Meal. And they have a video to share with us. So on your way out today, be sure to say hello and thank you to them. Their founder and board chair, Heather Irwin, is just out in the social hall there, and you can find out all about the good work that they're doing.
Sonoma Family Meal has always been a simple idea, bringing Sonoma County together at the table. It started as an idea by a food writer sitting at the kitchen table as a firestorm raged and entire neighborhoods were decimated. In a borrowed restaurant with an army of volunteers, Sonoma Family Meal suddenly became a lifeline to our neighbors in need by connecting local chefs, restaurateurs, farms, and ranchers to neighbors in need, deliciously and with dignity and love. As Sonoma County faced crisis after crisis, we were there. Over the last 5 years, we've served nearly 750,000 meals to people we may never know. But partners like Catholic Charities, Corazon, La Luz, Council on Aging, and so many others have told us what a pre-made meal means to a mother making a new life in Sonoma County with few resources and multiple jobs.
Hi, my name is Mari. I'm one of the families who receive this meal every Friday. I'm very thankful because this helped me and my family. Just take the pan and put in the oven and just wait for 40 minutes and then it's ready for my family, especially in these days that everything is expensive in the store. I'm very thankful to receive this every Friday. Thank you so much.
We've met seniors who were locked away during COVID without the ability to get groceries and served young families forced to move dozens of times while sorting out fire insurance. Throughout the pandemic, Family Meal supported dozens of restaurants throughout the county to make payroll and to keep their doors open by making meals for their neighbors. And now, with your support, our new community kitchen will become a place to develop new skills, launch a small business, or find a pathway to employment with a living wage. Sonoma Family Meal has always been a simple idea that brings our community to the table in countless ways and for countless meals. Please help us to continue that work.
Thank you to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa for selecting Sonoma Family Meal as one of their 2023 nonprofit partners.
Oh, we missed that. Thank you. But thank you. Please visit with our nonprofit partners outside today. It's time for us to close our service. And if there's something that is incomplete in you, if you cried yourself to sleep, or you just got something you want to celebrate, please take advantage of our in-service prayer or online through Zoom. Just go to Jerry if you're in the room, and he will connect you with a practitioner on duty who is waiting to hear what's on your mind so they can custom make an affirmative prayer for you. Now won't you please stand saying, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do, say, and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and let us close in song.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world.